Hi, my name is Benita Peterson, and I'm with All Fired Up for Freedom. And right now, I am in Ottawa, and I've had the pleasure of meeting various supporters and volunteers today for Freedom Convoy 2022. And the first one we're going to interview now is
David.
David. We have David here, and he's one of the volunteers here today. He's been doing some fun stuff. Today is Saturday, February 5th. What have you been up to, David?
So, since we got here, basically, we just went around and we asked truckers, and there's like a whole farmer convoy that arrived this morning as well. So, we basically just asked them what they needed and if they need anything and stuff like that. And it turns out that like most of the truckers and the farmers have more than they need. People are so generous and they're just like super giving, and yeah, there's lots for everybody.
That's awesome, David. I'm happy to hear that. I was actually visiting with one of the truckers earlier in a big truck, and people kept stopping at his window, giving him food, giving him this, giving him that, giving him money, and just saying, keep it up, keep it up. So the support is amazing. So one of the things to think about this Freedom Convoy isn't just the participants in it, such as the truckers and the rally organizers. It's all the supporters like David who are expressing support for the people who are really putting themselves out there. And expressing support takes many forms. Sometimes it means standing along a highway with your flag, waving as a convoy goes by. So, David, what's some other things you've seen people do in expressing support?
I was lucky enough to be at both convoys. One that went through Hamilton, Ontario, the other one that went through Kitchener, Ontario. What was your question again? What are people doing?
Yeah, what are they doing to express support?
So the people there were just basically, there wasn't much they could do other than waving like a lot of flags. There's thousands of people along the way, the whole way. Here, touching what you just mentioned earlier, I've noticed today people giving truckers like literally wads of cash, like just through the window. The GoFundMe gets shut down, and I've heard people be like, "Oh, people are going to be discouraged." I think it's the opposite. I think we're like doubling down. We're like, okay, you're going to try and block us like that, and you just see. So a lot of people are giving money. A lot of people, I've seen garbage cleanup, just people going around picking up trash. There was a bunch of kids. I have a video of it actually where they were giving out free hugs, and I took a video and I said, look how violent this protest is. They're little kids giving out a sign, free hugs. Just people honking at and waving flags. There's like so many different forms of people chipping in. Some's moral support, some are physical gifts, but either way, it all helps.
Mm-hmm. I've witnessed people giving out food, etc., etc. Right now, they're outside. They're cleaning up some garbage, collecting garbage bags, cleaning up garbage. They're cleaning up after themselves. Somebody bought 500 snow shovels and distributed those snow shovels in this area, and then people just pick up a snow shovel and start shoveling. And so it's amazing the magic that's happening here. So I have another guest here, and she's got a bit to share. So introduce yourself and tell us what you've been up to.
So my name is Anna. I'm actually a local here from Ottawa. Mostly what I've been doing is coming here, supporting the truckers here, and joining them, particularly on the weekends, obviously, having a great time here. I also was helping some of the Western convoy with showers and a place to sleep if they needed it when they were stuck on the parkway over there, because there were like 2 days or 3 days where didn't have anything there for them. So I just helped them out as much as I could. But I think they're taken care of now, actually. So that's mostly what I've been doing.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for helping like that. And when you look around at the current circumstances and you see what's going on, you see these people have come to Ottawa from all over. I'm from Alberta, for example. We have lots of guests here from Quebec. We've got New Brunswick represented. We've got some Americans represented, like so much. There's people here from BC. When you look around and you see people from across Canada and outside of Canada coming together like this, what is it that strikes you the most about all of that?
I mean, I think like what it really was is that from the beginning, everyone kind of felt really alone. It's okay. Everyone kind of felt really alone, especially people who, decided not to get the vaccine for whatever reason, right? I think this is just showing you how many people, that we're Canadians, we have to stand together. It doesn't matter what your race is, doesn't matter what you believe in religion, doesn't matter anything, right? Like there's so many different people here and we're all uniting under the freedom banner, right? That's all that matters. That's what it should be. right? We're fighting back against this tyrannical measure that they've tried to instill on us that makes absolutely no sense. And seeing everyone come together, I think, is like the biggest thing for me. That we're all just fighting this together, right?
Mm-hmm. Earlier today, I interviewed a fellow who has been double vaxxed. He had his child was in hospital with some issues, and so when he was told he had to get vaxxed to care for his child, he went and got double vaxxed, and because that's what he felt he had to do. But he's here and he's standing with this group, and he's standing for freedom because he disagrees with mandated, coerced, and forced vaccinations. This event here near Parliament is amazing in how it's bringing together not just people from across the country, but people from different perspectives and different backgrounds. True unity is happening right now. Solidarity of Canadians is happening right now. Now, with that being said, we are well aware that there's people out there who do not yet understand why these freedom events are happening. Freedom protests, freedom rallies, freedom convoys. There's still people who are just shaking their heads and they don't understand why we're doing this. If you could speak to one of those people right now, what would you say? So let's just pretend that we have a listener listening right now who does not understand why these freedom events are happening, and they do not understand why they're important. What would you say?
I would say that the cliche saying about freedom isn't free, it's true. It's not perfect freedom, but it's better than other alternatives. And everyone should have the right to choose what they think is best for them. So that's literally what this whole thing is about, is just people's ability to make their own choices, what they feel is best for them and their family.
Okay. Thank you for that. Is there anything further you'd like to add?
You asked me there was two things that I could say to somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I would just say is look at the like what's going on, the atmosphere that's happening here. There's no hatred. Even right outside here, there's somebody was carrying a bag of beer bottles and it smashed on the ground. It fell through, and now they're cleaning it up. It's a movement of love. There's love, there's unity, and we're all helping each other. So you can't have a bad outcome from like a good, I don't know what the word is, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have bad on the side of good, basically.
Yeah.
We have good or God or whatever you want to call it, but we have that backing us, which is probably the most powerful thing, I would say.
I'm in agreement there, and many people have heard me speak at the rallies, and they've heard my message of love as well. Chris Sky was here in Ottawa speaking today also about love and how this movement of love just grows and grows and grows, and more people are coming forward and they're joining us. People who supported us, but they were silent supporters, are now supporting the freedom movement actively and loudly and publicly, including Arnold Viersen, MP for Westlock area. I'm so pleased to see that he was involved in a convoy today. So I just think that's fantastic. It almost makes me wish I was in Westlock Barhead today instead of Ottawa. So now, but still, there's people who do not yet understand why we stand for freedom. And if you could speak to one or more of those people right now, what would you say?
Well, first of all, I'd probably say, don't listen to what the mainstream media is telling you. Like a lot of the time they're lying to you or just spinning some kind of sensational story. They pick up on one negative thing and they focus on that so easily. And then some people who don't really see past that, they for example, there's a counter protest that was happening today, and there was like people thinking that it's hateful, that the Freedom Convoy is full of hateful people, racists. And it makes absolutely no sense when you actually see what's going on, right? There's a lot of people that just aren't aware of it because they believe everything they're told on the media and they don't see it for themselves. So what I would definitely say is, come see it for yourself. Meet the people here. Don't be so full of hate yourself for something that you don't understand, right? The other thing I would say is, for anyone who doesn't understand why we're doing this, and David actually touched on it, I would personally say that not just that freedom isn't free, it's just that fundamental rights are fundamental for a reason, right? The right to what goes into your own body is probably the most important thing. Your bodily autonomy matters more than I think than a lot of other rights that you could have. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care if I don't get to travel the world ever again. If you tell me that I can't go anywhere without putting something in my body, I will never go somewhere again. If that's what you're going to tell me, all right. If you want to lock me in my house, fine, go ahead, but I will still fight you if you try and force it into me. It's that simple. You have to stand by your resolve, right? So that's just me at least, but I mean, that's what I would tell them, like nothing is more important than the right to your own body at that point. Because if you don't have that, what do you have? Right? If you have no right to, if you have no control over what goes in your body, then what do you have? Is what I would say.
Not just what goes in your body, but what goes on your body. And there are many, many people who have trouble breathing with a mask. Even yesterday, I was in a restaurant just ordering some food to go, and they didn't even want me standing in line and ordering food without a mask. And that was at an Ontario restaurant. When I'm in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, I had no issue doing that. But for some reason in Ontario, I had a hard time standing in line, even though there's a sneeze guard between me and the cashier. So you have a right to what goes in your body, and you have a right to what goes on your body. And mask wearing is another sign of compliance, and it's another sign of surrendering your rights. And so we have to take a stand on that. Now, we don't have to be unpleasant when we take a stand, but we do have to be strong, and we have to stand in our strength and stand in our space. And that's a bit about what this convoy is about. It's about holding space. It's in a sense a show of force. It's a show of force, ladies and gentlemen. When these truckers are here and volunteers like this are here supporting them, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people here, when this is a show of force to say to members of government in Canada and any in law enforcement and forces that the people are ready to stand up for rights and freedoms. We're ready to stand up for what goes in our bodies and what goes on our bodies. And the message is clear. End the mandates. We're going to hear again now from David. Go ahead.
It was the third thing I thought of, and that is what's super important is that people get educated and we study our history. Because, so my mom's side of the family were Dutch immigrants, but we're also Jewish. So during the Second World War, they lived in Holland, and my family's identity was changed, and there was a bunch of things they went through. And my grandfather always thought it could happen again. And I always thought it was funny growing up, but now looking back, my mom drilled the history into us. And I thought it was unnecessary at the time, but now I caught on in this April 2020. I knew it was a scam because I recognized the early signs from what I learned in history. So I would say education and history is something that kids aren't learning anymore, and that's probably one of the big disconnects we have.
Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, my family are actually immigrants themselves from Serbia, and while they didn't go through, the same kind of thing at the time, they went through similar things, with some of the ethnic cleansing, if you want to call it, from World War II themselves. They lived through wars as well. So, and they know what communism is. They lived in communism. And then when they moved here, my dad started picking up on it pretty quickly. And as time went on, it became very clear to him what was going on, as well as my mom, since again, they both grew up in a communist country at the time. So it was very clear to them what's going on. And, I would say that they're silent supporters because they're not here. They don't want to be very visible about it, but, they definitely from the beginning have been, very vocal against this kind of thing. And, we're all standing strong against this, and as David said, the history is so important because a lot of people have forgotten, right? They can't see the parallels of what happened in Nazi Germany to what's happening here. They think that just because, people aren't outright being slaughtered, that it's not the same situation. It's just a different flavor, a different light, if you will, of the same situation where one by one your rights are taken away, they demonize a certain group of people, and then they all of a sudden are going to segregate them from society. And that's exactly what happened in Germany in 1939 to whenever 1945, right? The big concentration camps, right? So it was gonna happen if we didn't stand up. So
okay. Well, thank you so much to both of you for allowing me to interview you. I really appreciate that. My name is Benita Peterson, allfiredupforfreedom.com. I have the pleasure of being in a warm truck with a new guest, actually. Would you like to be interviewed?
Sure, why not?
Okay. The only rules are no swearing.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Okay.
I was in Hockey Canada for a few years. So.
Okay. Are you a volunteer today? Supporter?
No, I just showed up. I'm a paraplegic.
Oh, we
So
have a
I
paraplegic.
can't really feel my feet are frozen right now. So
Okay.
and I don't wear socks.
Here, we're gonna crank your heat.
I'm good.
for you.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I just need to warm up for 5 minutes.
Okay. So my name is Benita Peterson, and I'm from Edmonton, Alberta.
Awesome.
And I just got to Ottawa yesterday, February 4th.
Okay.
And today is February 5th. And I have the pleasure of warming up in a truck. I'm one of the lucky ones right now. I found a warm truck to hang out in for a bit. And I just made a new friend.
My name's Chris, by the way.
This is Chris. So
Yeah.
say hi, Chris.
Hey, how's it going out there?
Okay.
Are you live right now?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I've been watching since the beginning. You know, I watched Convoy come across. I'm from Kitchener. Been sitting at home. I'm a landscape gardener. I run my own little business, so I don't work right now. My wife's been doing total of the work, paying the bills, and I had to come. It's at this point, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Well, that was 2 years ago. Enough is enough. You know, it doesn't matter what your choices are. You're allowed to have your own choices. But our Prime Minister doesn't seem to think that we get a right to choose.
I'm in complete agreement with you. On February 4th of 2021, I started rallying, and I made a giant 40-foot long banner that read "Enough is enough." 4 feet tall,
It's beautiful.
40 feet long.
Beautiful. Like, that's literally, if you're not here and you can get here, you need to be here. Plain and simple. Like, it's packed. Like, it took me almost 2 hours to go 3 blocks up by Parliament. You know, and I've gone down to the market. I'm just looping back now. We're probably going to head home tonight, but I'm a Canadian. My heart and soul, I've been fighting tears all day. It's a beautiful thing that's going on out there, and no one in the mainstream media really cares. They're calling us every name in the book. So let them. The world sees what's going on, even if our government doesn't want to see it.
One of the things I'm noticing is that people who have relied on certain medias for a certain period of time are starting to see that those medias are misleading them. And I'm very thankful for that. I'm very, very thankful that there are people who are seeing through the lies, they're seeing through the half-truths, and they're starting to see truth. This is really, really wonderful. So when you think of medias that you've come to rely on to give you better truth, what are some of those medias that you're now relying on?
Well, I guess I don't rely on media anymore because they're a bunch of liars. I've been in Ottawa, has been great. If you want to see what's going on, he's been literally out here
What was that, Ottawa?
Ottawa on YouTube, yeah. Not on Twitter. Just get that straight. That's in his posts. Viva Free. Like that guy.
He's here today.
I know.
I
I've been looking for him.
He was here. Viva Free. We were on top of a truck together earlier today. So anybody who watched my footage from earlier today when I was up high, I was on top of a truck, and when that horn went off, I thought I was going to fall off, but instead I dropped my phone. But yeah, I was next to Viva Free in that moment. He got good footage too.
They're posing in my wheelchair outside. It's pretty funny.
Are they posing?
Yeah,
in
they
your
were just
wheelchair?
taking pictures and posing in it.
Okay, so here's what I've noticed is this concept of sacrifice. And so we have these truckers who have sacrificed their time, their energy, their money, their trucks, possibly their livelihoods to be here and take up space.
Yeah.
You are someone who understands sacrifice. You're a paraplegic, and it would have been much easier for you today to just stay home in your comfortable home. Why are you here?
Well, I've been living free. None of the mandates, the Vax Pass stuff, I never went to any of those things anyways. I don't even like crowds. Like, I'm in a wheelchair and I'm at ass level in a crowd. So it's hard for me to want to be in a big crowd. But I have to be here. Everyone's here fighting for their freedom of choice. You know, there's no need for any mandates. I'm pretty sure 2 years ago, if someone got a cold or the flu, they didn't go kiss their grandmother. They stayed at home and got better and then went and kissed their grandmother, you know? I've been lucky. My family's been great. I'm pretty sure they're all vaccinated, but that's their choice, and they've left me to mine. So I'm very happy with that, but there's a lot of people out there that, oh, you need to, and, well, you don't know what's best for me. I know what's best for me. I had to relearn my body 23 years ago when I was paralyzed. It's a whole new ballgame. You know, I was lucky. I'm an incomplete paraplegic, full of my legs, and I've lived a really great life since I've been there. I've lost, yes. I was heavy into sledge hockey. I was forced out because Ontario Hockey Association mandated a vaccine, so I couldn't be in a ring. I couldn't coach, and it's frustrating. That was my only big loss. I've lost my winter outlet, but there's lots of other things to do, which I do. I've taken on the load of groceries, going to the grocery store. My wife pays the bills. I take care of the house, and I'm happy being a house husband until the summer. I need to get back to work. I'm a gardener, and that's what I do. You know, I just love being in people's gardens. I'm going to be pushing fruits and veggie gardens this year because that's mandatory. I'm getting the text better.
That's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, that's, we're here for freedom. No one, I don't think, is going to be running home to take a COVID test to see if they got COVID while they were here, because the Conservatives are getting paid for that, and I'm not paying for them, and I'm not getting the jab and giving money to Liberals either. So, I did my own homework. I'm happy with that, and if you don't like that, that's your problem, not mine.
Okay. So I know of at least one Conservative MP that is actively participating in a freedom convoy today. He's not here in Ottawa, he's in another province, but there's at least one Conservative MP demonstrating publicly his support for
That's
freedom.
Awesome.
So when you hear about Conservative MPs, or if it was any other MP under any color, how does that make you feel, learning that they're starting to wake up?
Well, they're catching up to the rest of the world if they want to keep their jobs after the next election. Literally just go anywhere else and look at any other mainstream media from any other country in the world. They're talking about this. But ours are very minutely speaking about it. It's just the fringe minority. It's going to be, maybe that should be Canada's new name, the fringe Canadian.
So I was chatting with a friend some time ago who had done some traveling in China. And one of the things he told me is that when he left Canada and he went over to China, that he couldn't access his Facebook in China because China has a lot of controls on the internet there. And many of the Chinese people, at least at that time, couldn't get free use of Facebook and international news. Now, unfortunately, here in Canada, one of the things we're finding is that certain news is being inhibited. There is definitely some censorship going on. Sometimes it's stuff that I've put out, for example, and then suddenly it's gone. Sometimes it's stuff I wanted to look at and I can't look at it, but somebody else can look at it. So there's a definite censorship going on. Would you like to comment on that, on how we have censorship in Canada and it feels uncomfortably like what's gone on in China?
Oh, they're censoring everything that's going on right now. I don't know of any platform that isn't getting censored, and they're trying to push all this under the rug. I know personally my Facebook posts, if I talk to people, they have to go to my page just to even see anything that I'm posting because it's against what's supposed to be going on right now. And guess what? It's if you can come here, you just need to come.
Yeah.
Period.
Now, with that being said, I understand not everybody can make the trip to Ottawa. So, for example, it took me 4 days and 2 trucks to get here. And it looks like I'll be staying in 2 or 3 different places during my time here in Ottawa. So if you can't make it to Ottawa, then just make sure that you are participating in some way in your community. Every province, by the sounds of it, is having some sort of convoy to the legislature, and that's been happening in Alberta and Manitoba and Saskatchewan and more. And there's other communities, they're not going all the way to their provincial legislature, but they are doing convoys around the communities. There's also convoys at the border, especially near Coutts. So there's lots and lots going on, and it's all just subject to your creativity. If you have it on your heart to participate in a freedom event of some sort, follow your heart. And if you have it in your heart to initiate a freedom event of some sort, then follow your heart and you initiate that event. One of the ideas that's going on right now is that people in different communities should play street hockey. So I would recommend a lot of pylons if you're intending to close off a street, some hay bales to block the balls from flying too far awry, and close the street. Maybe that's in front of your local courthouse. your local municipal office, or maybe it's in front of the mayor's house. Play some street hockey as a form of protest. If you've seen the cominghomespirit.com website, where Donald Lee has written about street hockey, he's proposing that February 14th to February 18th is a street hockey protest across Canada. What are your thoughts about a street hockey protest? Do you think that would be something fun to do? And would you say that pretty accurately represents the Canadian spirit?
That's probably what's going on. It's going to happen. Even in sledge hockey, just go play hockey somewhere. This is Canada. You can drive down the road anywhere and find a rink within 5 minutes. Just go set up your local rink. I know so many people that have their own rinks. I live in Kitchener. We're lucky we have like 12 to 14 outdoor rinks.
Hold on. It's not about the rinks. It's street hockey.
Well, street hockey.
It's a protest, so there's intentions of people across the nation to close streets, set up pylons, close the street, and protest by playing hockey in the street. What do you think of that?
I think it's awesome. It's the Canadian thing to do. You know, hockey is pretty much inbred in most of us, and I love hockey. I can't get enough of it. I don't like watching it. Love to play sled. Stand up, I'll watch right up to OHL, and that's it. But the road hockey is 100% great.
What we're going to do here is we've got some officers coming by. We're going to just witness whatever incident is occurring right now outside this truck.
They're all staring at my chair.
Yeah, we're going to just go witness what's going on.
They're moving.
Are they?
I don't know. Yeah, look, they're moving on.
Okay. I just... Whoops.
What were they doing?
At first they asked me if they could have a beer, so I just poured it out.
So the officers, here, we'll go
You're going out?
interview. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you. So I'll show you the officers. They're just walking up the road. They've been walking up the road quite steady. You might be able to hear the horns. There's a lot of horn honking going on. Lots and lots of horn honking. In general, freedom fighters find the horns to be the sound of hope. There are some people not so crazy about the horn honking, and it is possible that after listening to it for a long time, it can be draining. But lots of freedom fighters say, "Hey, that's the sound of hope. That's the way it is." So the officers were just here. And
The officers have been nothing but the best down there. It's just, you know, they just asked us to not cause problems. They got to do their job. They just asked us to. I was not listening to the law, and they have to say something because it's their job to do. So listen to them, let them move on. They're doing nothing. They're doing nothing but their job. They're doing great.
Okay.
Everything's
so
awesome.
The officers were here. All right, so it wasn't a big deal. I'm nosy though,
They
so
were
I
really
like to
polite. They told us to stay warm. They told us to have fun and to stay out of trouble.
know. Okay, that's
Thank
great.
you so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the time with you
Of
and
course.
the interview. And here, we'll just get a look at you there. So that is super. You guys are great. And my name is Benita Peterson. You can find me on Facebook. DJ Benita on YouTube.
Perfect. DJ Benita. I love it.
DJ Benita on YouTube.
Perfect. Hey,
Okay.
take care.
Okay, thank you.
Keep up the hard work.
I shall. So I'm Benita with allfiredupforfreedom.com. I'm here in Ottawa. Today is Saturday, February 5th. So I've done a few interviews today, some running around here, there, everywhere. I'm going to make it back to the main stage in a little bit here. But before I head in that direction, I do want to show you the War Memorial. So as you can see, they have this area fenced off. Apparently they were concerned about this area for some reason. But as you can see, the protesters here today keep things very clean. They even do snow shoveling, they pick up garbage. And the only items that are left here at the War Memorial are quite appropriate. We've got some boots, some flowers, a basket of flowers with poppies. We've got a wreath and a poem. And the poem reads this. Unknown soldier. Unknown soldier, we didn't dance on your grave. We're here to tell you for the lives that you gave. It's under attack by the man we elected. Something is happening, so unexpected. We are all around this monument they erected, fighting for freedoms that parliaments rejected. So when you feel dancing or stomping above, know that it's God inspiring us with love. As you know, fighting for freedom sure had its cost. We'll stand here and stay till all is lost. And our freedoms and rights did have a cost. We'll kneel down beside you and silently thank you, unknown soldier, for making a way. From an anonymous poet from January 1, 2022, at the Monument of the Unknown Soldier. My name is Benita, all fired up for freedom, and I appreciate you tuning in with me today. I'm going to make my way back soon to the main rally area. Feel free to send me your comments, your texts. I appreciate your feedback, your words of encouragement. If you wish to text me, my cell number is 780-349-0181. Bye for now, and thank you so much for tuning in.